Why did I have to ingest so many magic mushrooms in the 70s? Why did I do it to myself? Don't believe it. I'm way too paranoid of a person for that. No way. Oh, no. No. Pot just made me sleepy. Then I'd end up at the 7-Eleven looking for treats. Of course, I was a little more svelte back then, so it wasn't such a bad thing, but I'd be asking the clerk if he had a bigger bag of Oreos. Chris Starry is here. She has bounced back in vivid detail I will never go into. Don't worry, Chris Starry. You're thinking I might. Pam Donnelly. Hello, Jack. That is nonstick Pam. Apply Pam to your cookie sheet and you'll have no worries. Just put a little Pam on there. That's what they always told me. Barbara, oh, here's somebody new who thinks I'm crazy and says, I have found the village idiot. Let's see, Barbara Hojanaki. If there's a way to mispronounce it, Barbara, and I won't call you Barbara. Everybody calls you Barbara, right? There's only one Barbara, and that's Barbara Streisand. She sings like a blue jay, Barbara Streisand. Good actress, good producer, But as a person, she's shite. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be that graphic. Oh, she'll walk past you as you stand there with your pen and autograph pad. She'll walk past you faster than as if she was being in fear of a tsunami coming up behind her. Heather Feather is here, not from the country of Canada anymore. She's saying hello to Ted. Very good, Barbara. Is that a Polish name, is it? I love the Polish people, but I'm not sure of the nationality. Ted Richards is saying hello to Heather. Jackie Taylor. Hello, Jack from Mississippi. Well, hello, Jackie. Are you one of the former wives of James Taylor? He's had a few, hasn't he? It's not just Carly Simon Taylor. Remember when she used to call herself that? Carly Simon Taylor? I certainly do. What they do together? Mockingbird, right? Yeah. I remember that song. I remember when. The song was about Warren Beatty. You're so vain, not Mick Jagger. No. Mick was well, let's call him a fun toy. A fun toy. Other people have said other descriptions, but I will not do that, Tess J. Tess, and in honor of her husband, Jay, right? Amen. See, I vacillate between being a soft-spoken Christian and Ron Jeremy. Just the way I am. Part disc jockey, part flawed Christian. That's how I vacillate, which has nothing to do with a procedure that men have when they don't want to have kids anymore. They don't want a 21-year commitment, to financial commitment. Greg Hines, also known as Gregory Hines. Hello, Jack, and all from you know where. I wish I did, but it's just too recent, Greg. If I had met you in 1964, I'd know exactly where you're from, but I just don't know. Jackie Taylor says, no, I am a he. Well, see, I should have known. I was Jackie London on the radio for a while. There's plenty of Jackies. Jackie Mason was one, Jackie Gleason. So why did I assume? Because as Felix Unger with a blackboard taught us, when we assume, we make an ass out of you and me. Was that the first time that was ever used? Because it became a thing after that. Yeah. But it was Tony Randall in the character of Felix Unger that first explained how we should not be so quick to assume. Please sign in. I want to know who's here so I can say hello. Top of the morning to you if you're in Britain. Not Large Marge is here. Hello, Jack and everyone. Karen Phillips. Hi, Jack and everyone. Yeah, I wish I knew where, Greg. Could you send me some prevision? I need the Prevagen. I got a story to tell you about the need for Prevagen or something like it. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think Jody Smith is here. She says, "Hi, just got home from work." Yes, she is, and I'm assuming you're a female, Jody, because I've known several Jodys that, they had a, what. I'm assuming you're a female Jody. I could be assuming wrong. I don't think you showed me your picture. You've never sent me your picture, Jody Smith. Either has Kim Lackey. I mean, what's going on here? Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. Jack the FAIR guy at gmail.com. Thank you for sending me some wonderful stuff lately. Certain people who don't want to be identified because they are in the witness protection program, they, I can just imagine someone watching me for the first time and say, oh, this guy, he probably wears a tinfoil hat sometimes. No, I'm just fun. And all my years in radio made me like this. I was always having to try to find something witty to say into the next record. And so that's the DJ side of me. Feels like the first time by Foreigner. I'd say if it were like 3 o'clock in the morning, I would say this. And I'm talking up Feels Like the First Time, which, let's face it, is a great song from Foreigner. It's their first hit. It's the one they always opened every concert with. Rock and roll at 92 Rock 7 from Foreigner. Feels like the first time. Hurts like hell. I would say stuff like that, Chi-Chi. And then I would say, gee, I hope Cousin Brucey didn't get up to have a glass of water, and he heard me say that. I could be in trouble because there was no taping back then, There was no taping. There was barely internet if there was. At that point, there was internet. Brian Gumbel had just said to someone live on the Today Show, what is internet? Do you talk to it? They attributed that to Matt Lauer, but Matt Lauer was not doing that. He was chasing his assistant around the building. Yeah. He was installing door locks so that when you came into his office, he would flip a button and you would be locked in. Marty Greco, what are we going to do with these guys? What are we going to do with the guys, Marty? We embarrass ourselves. Hijacking, everyone. Happy hump day. Well, I see you've got your mind in the gutter. Marty Greco. Yeah, and he's a good-looking guy, too. I'll have to show his picture again. I think he's on a little bridge somewhere, and it's like a summer day with Marty Greco. So, welcome, Marty. Yeah, that's what we used to say. DJ said that on the radio. It's hump day. Or Prince Spaghetti Day back in the day. Has Prince Spaghetti even, do they still exist? I don't know. So no problem, brother. Well, now I know, and I won't forget that. That's something that will stick in my head. And you spell it the way I spell Jackie London. Look at this, Jody Smith hitting the thanks button as we begin. She is known as the encourager. I was known as the wanderer. The wanderer, I'd wander from town to town. Why did I put my volume down? Oh, I thought I was going to cough. Maybe I should. Now that's better. I was known as the wanderer. I'd wander from town to town, Janie on my left arm and somebody on my right. Geez, I should be able to remember that lyric. And who was the girl that I will be with tonight? Oh, I should know this. Somebody help me out. One of the guys would probably know that lyric. Thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button for $1 and $1.99. And I'm not even sure you're a female, Jody. But you are, right? I always assume that. Neon is here. Maybe someday I could talk. I could ask Bob when he was pasteurized. Very good. That is something I could use on the radio if I had a radio show. If radio hadn't died, thanks to Shelley 3, up there in our 51st state, Canada. Oh, what's this about this new prime minister who doesn't want to get with the program? He's gruff, huh? We'll teach him. We'll teach him. Oh, geez, that's all we need is a tariff war with Canada. But they say gas prices are going down right now. $65 a barrel. $65 a barrel. Remember when it was over 100 a barrel? Yeah. Oh, I do. I do. I remember paying five something in 2005 or six when I was living up in Walker Valley with the Bears. Yeah, my second wife and I were living with the Bears up on the mountain from Walker Valley, New York. Oh dear. I learned something valuable. You can't shoo a bear away from your trash can. They look at you like, what are you, a moron? I'm not a cocker spaniel. I'm a bear. Get it? Be lucky I don't eat you. But I think there's probably something better in your trash than eating you. He had to be nasty about it, you know? Eating, oh, yes, Jody likes to tell us about her culinary endeavors, and it's always fun. Eating banana bread and cottage cheese. Well, I've never heard anyone say that in my 68, almost 69 years, I must admit. Nancy DeMarco is not sharing what she will be having during the program, but she's talking to Chris Starry, and glad you are here. Me too. Stephen Pence. I think we've talked to you before because I always make a note of your last name. Think he's going to be with Janie tonight. Yeah. And Janie is the girl that I'll be with tonight. Is it Janie? See, I should know this. I know about Dion DiMucci. I know, I know about Runaround Sue. I came to realize I'm speaking the truth far more than some of you will realize. You'll think it's just more shtick. I found out that Sue. Oh, I wish I could say things. I wish I could, but it would make me look bad. I have no right to talk about people that they could infer who I'm talking about. My past was pretty wild. I was a disc jockey, 3 o'clock in the morning. I get a call from some woman. I've never heard from her before. She tells me she's laying in bed listening to me, that her apparel is non-existent, and that's all I'm going to say, Nancy DeMarco. You don't have to worry about taking out the ruler, Nancy. You don't have to worry about taking out the ruler. There were some people that would do that here, but I don't know if they're with us right now. Uh, Just don't ask Aerosmith about Janie. Now, see, Neil, since I only know several big hits from Steven Tyler and Aerosmith, I don't get the reference. So please expound, expound. Look, here's Todd Bradshaw. I've been thinking about this. We're going to have to come up with a character, an honorary name for Todd Bradshaw. Now, Richard Lyon is the Grand Patriarch. But what do you think? What would be some good choices for Todd Bradshaw's title? You can also suggest Todd, and I'll pick a good one, but I probably would go with one that Todd would pick because he would have the pull. Are we all invited to your birthday party, Jack? I don't know if I'm going to have one. I my kids are scattered, or one living in Texas, one living in one of the Carolinas. And in terms of friends here, we do have our good friends Sean and Norma. And I already know for my 70th birthday, which is a year from the 21st of this month, so just a few weeks away now. My 70th birthday, he's taking me to Texas Roadhouse. He knows I love the Texas Roadhouse. I introduced him his very first visit to Texas Roadhouse. They got there ahead of us and had already got a table, so we didn't have to wait. Sometimes at Texas Roadhouse, it can get kind of rough. There's times you just don't go, You'll be waiting for people go there on a Friday, Saturday night to hang for a little bit, So I know that, but I don't have a lot of friends, but Todd and Norma, we met through our polka activities with 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr. Remind me to tell you my Jimmy Sturr story because I went to the office today in Florida, New York. New York. I love Florida, New York. I can understand why Jimmy loves it so much. Of course, he was born there. Why wouldn't he? Chi Chi is talking to Brenda Noyce. Brenda is here. Hi, Brenda. Brenda and Eddie were still going steady in the summer of 75. That goes down in the Billy Joel list as his number one favorite song. He was asked his top five. Let's see, what else was on the list? And So It Goes, another one of my favorite Billy Joel songs. Not a big hit long, but as So It Goes, listen to that song. It is. He picked well. His top five list, I said, I'm right there with you. He didn't pick songs like Piano Man and Big Shot. No, he knows he's thankful that they were hits. But he picked Vienna. Vienna, when will you realize Vienna waits for you? Are you here, Gene Ladd? I'm wondering now. I don't see you. I don't know if he turned on his notification bell. And Gene, who just turned yesterday 90 years old, he may be sleeping because he's had a wild few days. So maybe you're watching the replay, Gene. Hello, I love you. Won't you sign in and tell us your name? It's the best I could do. It can't all be gems. It can't all be gems. But I'm glad Todd is here. And we've got to think of a channel name that goes with Todd Bradshaw when he comes on, because he has certainly earned it. He has earned it. I've still got my eye on you, Shelley 3. Don't worry. You know, we don't have a grand matriarch. But I got to think about this one. Paul is here. Paul Comfort. What did you do today, Paul? I won't ask you where you're from. I won't go through that rap again that you probably hate. I think you're from Wales, but enough is enough. What did Paul Comfort do today in this world? I'm not sure how old of a man you are. And you don't have to tell us, of course, but what was Wednesday like for Paul Comfort? I'd like to know. I sincerely would. So Todd says, love that song, Jack. Which one? Oh, And So It Goes. Yes. The Bridge. Stormfront is my favorite Billy Joel album. Really? Very interesting. Let's see. What else do we have from Stormfront? Give me some other songs if you can, Todd. Sean Clutch. What the hey is that mean? Hi, Stephen Pence. You're back. For the longest time, Billy Joel. Oh, for the longest time, for the longest time. Ooh, that was Billy Joel's. He calls it his Four Seasons album because obviously Uptown Girl was heavily inspired by Mr. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Yeah, it was. And I'm right there with you. It's. But I'm trying to think of some of the other songs on Stormfront. Innocent Man wasn't on that, right? No. Billy Joel is out of commission. That's right. I was going to mention that, but Kim Lackey will say, for those of you who don't know, he had to postpone his visit to Charlotte because he fell on stage somewhere else. Well, he's having surgery, and I'm not sure it's all related to that fall, but it could be. It could be. So 4 months out for Billy Joel. He's 75 years old now. You got to watch those steps on stage. Keith Richards fell, but he got right back up because, in the year 2525, if man is still alive, Keith Richards will be one of them. You just know it. And William Shatner, too. Oh, our title, Gene Ho. Advice for Gene Ho. Impromptu. I just thought of the title. Gene was saying, well, you could have put this in a text or an email, but nothing good can come out of me suggesting things on the air like this, but I'm going to do it anyway in in a non-offensive way as I can. Okay. Now look, I look at these Comic-Con. I call them Comic-Cons. I don't know, these fan conventions. you know, that are coming on. And I went to my first one, Chiller Theater, last October. Now they're having another one in April. And my God, they got a list of people. Must be 30, 40 people I've never heard of. But they are trying to be true to actual scary movies. But I'll tell you, those stars are going to come and they're not going to make big money because nobody knows who the hell they are. And, but I can understand at least they are saying if this is Chiller Theater, we're going to have spooky stars. We're going to have spooky stars. But last year at Chiller Theater, when they had people like the guy who pointed at me, John, I got a video up on him pointing at me. John, his sister is famous too. John. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's time for the loony bin. The latest song by Billy Joel, Leave the Light, um, Turn the Lights Back On, is brilliant. Kind of goes back to his roots. Yeah. When I heard, Turn the Lights Back On, I said, "Billy, this is fantastic." I was so excited, and I hoped it would be followed by at least an EP, 4 more songs, whatever. He says he writes all the time. Well, okay, you turn the lights back on, but we're beginning to think that you just turned them on to get something from the fridge, and now you're turning the lights back off. No, we want more Billy Joel. Um, you can do this even if you do it with help, because Bob Dylan would be the first to say he couldn't write some of those great classics in the 60s. This is what he's told himself. Maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know, Brenda Noyce, but he had help writing uh, Turn the Lights Back On. He had help writing that. Two people at least. John Cusack. Thank you, Paul Comfort. So you do talk to me once in a while. Usually he just doesn't answer me. But there you are, mate. How are you? Yeah, I was there at Chilla Theater. Thanks for redirecting me too, Paul, because this is what I do. Somebody say, remember you were talking about this, Jack, because I forget about it and I go off on another tangent. But Chiller Theater in Parsippany, New Jersey, a beautiful community, by the way. Very easy to get to from here in the Hudson Valley. Very easy to get back and forth on a Saturday. I would go again, but there's all these people coming from these horror movies that I care nothing about. These are for these hardcore C-level movies, but they got a couple of people. Now it's at the Lexington one that they got a bunch of people I've never heard of. Oh, they were in this sitcom and that sitcom and this kind of thing. And then they got one of the biggest stars on the planet. I'm talking to you now, Gene Ho. They got William Shatner. All right. They got William freaking Shatner. He's going to get more attention than all of them combined. But, he's 93 years old now. He's 93 years old. Imagine that. He still kind of looks good at 93. I didn't think that was possible, right? Oh, that person can't be 90. Dick Van Dyke's 99. Looks like Dick Van Dyke still. Yeah, yeah. It all depends. If you keep moving, you won't lose it, right? So anyway, William Shatner, his name just stands out in a crowd of people you've never heard of that are not going to get that much response. They don't charge the actors to come. They come for free, but they rely on you wanting to spend $50, $60 for a picture, autograph, some they'll have 8x10s out there and what have you of various parts of their career. That's what I saw. But it can be an actor that you really enjoyed, but you don't even really know his name, that kind of thing. There's a lot of that goes on there. That happened at Chiller Theater. And then there were some really big stars, or they were big once, you know what I mean? Like Kate Jackson had a long line, Kate Jackson. And um, Catherine Lee Scott from Dark Shadows, always going to have a fan base. But John Cusack, he's been in, 70 movies and he's a pretty big star. Not hot right now necessarily, but he'll come back with something. And he did some B-level films when things quieted down somewhat. So when you have a John Cusack, people are gonna, oh, John Cusack, I'd like to see him. Kate Jackson, that was all Karen had to tell me. Kate Jackson's going to be at Chiller Theater, and I said, we're going. I got to see Kate Jackson. I got to see Kate Jackson, who was wearing a mask, you know. And I can understand she's had heart surgeries. She had what the heck else happened to her? Several things. So she's had, times when she was in danger. And so she was wearing a mask. But Kate Jackson is Kate Jackson. She hasn't worked in years, which is really weird. But she might have even moved back to Alabama. I think she legitimately needs the revenue that she makes at these things. So it was like $100 for a photo with her, and to get your photo taken with William Shatner, it is $100. To get his autograph, that boosted up to 120. 120 photo autograph, 120. That's William Shatner. It's worth it. But you got to think, he's there for 2 days. And there's the line freaking never stops. At some point, he's going to take a lunch break. But everybody wants to get on William Shatner's line. They brought money in their pocket because they know he's there. And to me, The Unexplained is a wonderful show. Karen loves it, and I watch it. I often leave here after Worldwide Rambling Saturday night and sit on Karen's bed and watch William Shatner. And if you're an announcer like I am, and you have a radio background, you can really appreciate how Mr. Shatner takes every sentence that he does on that program, whether you're seeing him or he's not on camera at that time, and he chooses how he's going to say the sentence. And you can understand that the man is a veritable genius, a genius that has made millions just doing voiceover commercials. So he's going to be there. You don't need 7, 8 people. You don't want to overbook, is what I'm saying. And you want to cater to the audience that's coming. The audience that's coming to George Magazine's event is going to be overwhelmingly female, and they're overwhelmingly coming for Pastor Bob Joyce. If we can speak the truth in 2025, I think we can, because Trump's back in office, right? Someone said to me, I like your channel, but now I find out you're for Trump. I can't watch you anymore. I understand. I understand. You have Trump derangement syndrome, and you can't take you have this hatred for Donald Trump that permeates into your sweat glands, and you can't handle the truth. You can't handle me being a proud MAGA Trumper. I understand. That doesn't mean I agree with everything. And if we went issue by issue, you'd probably find a few issues like I'm for prison reform. I'm for everybody having health care, even if they're in the country illegally till they get scooped up. If they walk into a hospital, they should get the same treatment. And children that walked over the border because their parents sent them that way should not be thrown back. They should not be thrown back. Who knows if they'd even find their parents? Come on, no, no. Christian first, and Jesus would not like that. He would not be supportive. Now you say, well, would he care? Would he be for borders at all? Well, the problem is here in America is everyone wants to come here, and that is an impossibility. That is an impossibility. Whole countries can't move over to America. So we have legal immigration, but we only can have so much. That's just a hardcore fact. I'm all over the map. So I was talking about Chiller Theater. Paul, you have to redirect me again. Oh, the Chaplain Chap is here. Hi, Chaplain Chap. Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand as well. So what I learned there is Molly Ringwald at Chiller Theater. I don't think she's done too many horror films. Somehow looks exactly like she looked back then, and she had a long line. Deidre Hall was supposed to be there, but I never saw her at her table. Star of Days of Our Lives. There's a good choice. So what you want to do is you don't want to have a bunch of people. You want to have maybe one good oldies band because it's an older audience, and you want to have You want to have just a few people that a female audience in this case will love. And I know by saying that, I'm questioning some of the choices that you've made already. And I don't mean to do that. But if Dave Blaze would have just called me, you could have given him my number. I would have been able to help Dave Blaze out. And um, they'd much rather have Bob Joyce do a sing along concert on a Saturday afternoon than someone talking about prophecy. They'd much rather have that. As I say, to know if any prophet is right, you got to put like a year and a half work into it, write down everything they say, and then see how much of it came true, how much of it was a educated guess, like Dick Van Dyke is going to die in the next 2 years. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I don't know that Neil Diamond song well enough to start singing it, and I can't be singing copyrighted material. The naughty, naughty, naughty couple. What the heck are we talking about, Todd Bradshaw? That can't be your name. Jackie Organ is here. So I'm just saying, don't go crazy with overbooking. You need people that people love. And the problem I understand is that it won't be cheap in some cases. Um, Kevin Sorbo would be a good choice. Does Christian movies and what have you. He's going to be at one of these fan conventions, and he'll get people. Oh yeah, he'll get people because people loved Hercules, and people see him on various podcasts and what have you. I think he's done Joe Rogan, and he has Christian movies that come out and what have you. So he'll have a fan base. But some of the others that I see, at these places, sadly, they won't. So you don't need a lot of names. You don't have to negotiate with speakers that aren't going to draw anyway. I know that in the polka world, they quickly realized that some of the newer polka acts were not really bringing in very many people. So they went back to the old school because they have an older audience. Know your audience, and then you won't waste money. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Um, in terms of Bob doing an altar call, you know what my first thought was? Are you trying to give him COVID? Oh, the Lord will protect him. Well, David Wilkerson started this dynamite church in Times Square, New York. Now, I didn't like everything David Wilkerson said because at the time he was, he had the Sipping Saints book trying to say the scripture says you cannot drink alcohol, which is not true. Um, drunkenness is what you can't do. There's even a scripture you could use about the wine making the spirit merry, that a little bit of a buzz is okay. Don't drive, though. Don't drive. David Wilkerson starts this beautiful church in a former Broadway theater. He's got crowds. He has a Sunday night service that I attended with my pastor up here, Pastor Steve, and it was great praise and what have you. He ends up dying in a car accident in Dallas. He was driving. He ends up dying in a car accident. So we don't really know. We don't know that. This idea about guardian angels, I'm sure most people don't know about that. They will attribute something good that happens in their life to, oh, there was my guardian angel. The Lord gave me a guardian angel. I'll be even more honest than that. I believe I seem to have one, because, yeah, I can point to a number of times in my life, but then I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't want to get too morose, but lately the St. Jude's commercials, for example, they have a different tone. They're showing the kids more and more that aren't going to make it. And I don't care what your theology is and what have you, and what your explanation is for that. I don't buy it. It's in the "we don't know why that would be" column, because the kids are innocent. The kids are innocent. So I don't understand that. but I will take my faith in Jesus Christ to the grave, nevertheless. And I have nothing but praise for God, who has given me far more grace than I ever deserved, since I'm one of those guys that has sinned a bazillion times. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Somebody help me before I turn this into a confessional test. I agree about the prophets. Too many seem scripted to. Yeah, I mean, okay, let me finish your thought. I'm sorry, Tess. Too many seem scripted. I don't pay much attention to any of them. When it's in doubt, leave it out. At Todd Bradshaw. Todd, you're coming in everywhere here. Moonshiner Todd. I'm not going to make that your title, just because you have a still way back in the woods. I saw the final episode of Moonshiners for this season. They didn't say, if they said the series finale of Moonshiners, I would have fallen off my recliner. I would have fell off my recliner and cried, because I love my Moonshiners. I don't know why. I've never had a sip of moonshine in my life. I don't like high proof liquor, but these guys are just, ending season 14 on Discovery. That says something. And they indicated that they'll be back at it this spring, with or without the cameras. But I certainly hope they get renewed for season 15. But there's Moonshiner Jerry, that Todd knows who I'm talking about, who's the partner of Mike Cotterill. How do you say his name? And Jerry, and when Todd's got his beard going, looks like him. Now, when he takes the beard off, Todd, he's ready for GQ magazine. So it's quite a transformation. Many answered prayers this week. Am blessed. Chris Dari would know about that. She had a brain tumor removed. Did they not get all the tumor? And what's your cancer diagnosis now? They're gonna do treatments, right? So, yeah, no, I can understand how you feel blessed, and I don't take any of that away. Praise God. Praise God. Some people don't get that. There's this a girl that I followed on Reels. Notice I'm putting it in past tense. Actually, I still see her videos on Reels. Bailey, I want to say Hutchinson. I'm not talking about the one with the ticks, who's bailing out loud. I'm not talking about her. But Bailey Hutchinson, beautiful girl, married a couple of years ago, handsome husband. And, about 3-4 weeks ago, he put up the posting that she had passed away. And she was a Christian, and she was crying out to God. And some of her videos are so heart-wrenching. But, other videos, she just realizes she's not going to make it. And she's, crying her eyes out. And it's so sad. And it reminds me of don't complain about anything in my life when God has been more than gracious to me. So that goes in the I don't know why that is column. Pathology not back yet, says Chris Dari, but 99% METS, like the New York Mets, in brain. I don't know what that is. It's okay. I will be healed again after I do what Jesus is having me do. Kim Lackey says, I'm not a fan of liquor, but I got a chance to taste moonshine once, so I did. And then what happened, Kim? Did you find yourself laying flat on a roof somewhere? That would be dangerous, wouldn't it? What do you think, Michael G? Mikhail Gorbachev? Everyone's born in sin, but transcends to a state of grace if they find their way. In other words, do you believe that you must be born again, or you cannot see or enter the kingdom of heaven? That's how I think you find grace. It's a free gift. But then there are those other scriptures that you got to look out for. If you do this, if you do that, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. This is Advent time, and in my feed, and I don't spend a lot of time. It's only late at night, which sometimes keeps me up later than it should. I see like these priests that are on. There's a really cool couple of really cool priests, and I'm a big Cardinal Dolan fan here in New York. He seems like a wonderful man. I think he should be the next pope. That's just my feeling. They'll throw it to some 90-year-old man. Yeah, and another Benedict, who was involved with the cover up. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, there's this one blonde priest who's very tall and looks muscular, and he's bald on top and has blonde hair. And every time I see one of his things, he's setting people straight. He's the John MacArthur of the Christian church. Oh, people say this. Well, look at this scripture. He uses it like a nuclear weapon and what have you. And I'll tell you, the other priests that are soft spoken and you can feel the Holy Spirit in them, not that they would agree or promote sin, they wouldn't. They're much more effective. This guy is, he's for the people yeah, people are going to hell, and I'm damn glad of it because they deserve it. It's almost like that kind of a spirit. It won't work. It won't work. People stop going to your homilies after a while. They stop going to your homilies. Just saying. Well, I'm all over the map today. So, in conclusion about Gene Ho, what a wonderful man he is. I'm going to read your promo. Let me go to the inbox here. I've gotten quite a few emails, and only a third of them are from Kistari. Let's see here. I opened that email. I don't want to mention any names of people. Here's someone that says, I don't need Elvis. That's right, I don't. We need Jesus. If you're talking about what he said at the Rainier Hall Theater, I've played that. I have a video on that. You don't need Jesus. I mean, you don't need Paul. You don't need Cyprus. You don't need Bob Joyce, and you don't need Elvis. You need Jesus. Absolutely, that's true. But it's just obvious that if you know how a human being is designed, even a Christian born again one, and they see you, they're going to have curiosities and they're going to have past memories. I think this is the one that I want to hope it is. Please let it be. Yes. I believe this is from Gene Ho. Hello, friends. I wanted to reach out personally to let you know that the George Magazine Live 2025 event will be upon us before we know it. If you went to last year's event, you would remember the sense of community that we shared. It was more than just an event, but a place where we found a new family and encouraged others in new faith. This year's event will be the same way. George CEO Dave Blaze has been busy negotiating with other speakers and acts that we will announce soon. Don't overbook. Don't assume they're right for you if they don't. This is me. If they don't draw your core audience. But having said that, they're coming for Pastor Bob Joyce. Remember, that VIP and Event Pass Plus tickets will sell out because they are very limited. Also, a reminder that these tickets give you the best access even at the free portions of the events. Pastor Bob Joyce will be back this year, and I'm glad it was he elected to go with an altar call after Sunday service. This will allow him to personally greet and pray with more people. Well, greeting, saying hello, but it's an altar call, so there won't be time to talk small talk. And the amount of people concerns me, to be honest with you. It concerns me. Also added this year is an after party with Jacob Flores, who was on American Idol. The after party will also feature an open workout with heavyweight boxer Kenzie Morrison. I don't know what to say to that. There will also be food for VIP and Event Pass Plus only at this after party. More on the event here. And of course, you go to georgemagazine.com/George magazine live/. Ah, and you get your tickets here. georgemagazine.com/get tickets/. Can we avoid those forward slashes? Oh, yes. August 15th through 17th, 2025. The big show rolls into town. Hot Springs, National Park, Arkansas, George Magazine. Are they moving everything to the arena, or are they still using the convention hall? I thought I saw something, and I shouldn't say it without knowing exactly what I'm talking about. So scratch that. The jury will disregard what was just stated in front of them because we know you human beings who just heard that the defendant here murdered 9 other people. We know you'll be able to completely erase that from your memory. Human beings are crazy. No wonder God said, I wish he never created us. He did, he did. Moses had to calm him down. And if that isn't amazing scripture, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I'm back. Jack, I would have gone last year for the whole event if finances allowed to see the political speakers and Christian speakers. I wanted to see the gentleman who reminds me of Art Bell. Jeez. And Christian speakers. Same this year, not just for Pastor Bob. Well, you're saying the finances played a factor, and then, the finances include, of course, if you're going to go VIP, which sounds like I would like to go that way. And then the hotel, and then there's the getting there. There's the getting there. If you're going to fly in, you got to have to fly into Little Rock, and then you've got to rent a car to get down there in 100-degree heat. So, it's a tough road here. It's a tough road. I would go with Memphis. I would go with Memphis next time. Just a thought. Just a thought. What do you think, Chaplain Chap? But I want Gene Ho's event to be huge. I want his event to be huge. And I want to hear a good report as to whether I'm going. I don't know. It would take a GoFundMe at this rate. It would take a GoFundMe. Good night, Brenda. Thank you for stopping, Brenda Noyce. I'm sorry if I missed comments in real time. Ted Richards. My stomach hurts, says Brenda. See you all on Saturday. Bless you. Bless you, Brenda. We'll pray for you at the end of the program. Metastasizing. Okay, Christari, thank you. That Mets, which I think of the New York Mets, metastasizing. Yeah, there's still metastases in your, I don't know if it's in the brain or if it's gone to somewhere else. And 314 is not going to mean anything to us because, I could have been a doctor. I could have been a doctor, except for the math and science part. I just ripped off Woody Harrelson. Some of you will know what movie that comes from. I don't know if the Chaplain chap knows, but he's writing in my favorite, well, not my favorite, one of my top 5 colors. My car is orange. I recently came to Christ, praise the Lord, and started singing Elvis songs on TikTok. Well, okay, give us your little handle there on TikTok. That's fine. And it's so there's still they weren't able to get the entire tumor, right? Arnold said, it is not the tumor, but in your case, sadly, it was. So expensive, and we are only in the next state of Oklahoma, says Christari. Well, it all depends on your income level, right? As for me, when Jamie Lissow says, if you open up the door to your hotel room and there's the parking lot, you made a series of bad choices. But I like motel rooms. I don't mind. I'm not asking to go to an expensive hotel. I've been to a few of them in my life, even when I was touring in my second marriage with Pickles. Um, don't usually say her name, do I? Um, we got a few deals that included that, so that was cool. I'm not saying I don't like a four-star hotel. I'm just saying I'm fine at Motel 6 in Kissimmee, right across from Old Town. I didn't mention the full story last time. Right across from Kissimmee, which is in the Orlando area, is Old Town. Big Ferris wheel right out in the front. Wonderful shops, other amusements to do. And we always, this goes back to, I think, both marriages. We went to Old Town in Kissimmee. It's a wonderful place, just a few miles outside of Orlando. So if you're going to move to Florida, move to that area because you never hear that the entire Walt Disney Park was destroyed in a hurricane. In a hurricane. That's for you, Paul. A hurricane. Do you say hurricane, Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand, or do you say hurricane? Like Herman Cain, God rest his soul. You say hurricane or hurricane? Do you say tomato or tomato? Todd Bradshaw, I stayed at a Motel 6 a few years back. It was pretty nice, to my surprise. Yes, Todd, what you say is, please don't put me next to the maid station. Don't put me next to the maid station and the vending area. Those are no-nos. Because at 8 a.m., the 3 or 4 cackling maids will be outside your door because uh, they'll be going in to set up their carts and stuff, and they'll be waking you up. So you don't want to be near the maid station. You don't want to be near the vending. Oh, and of course, if you go on the weekends, you know what can happen, Todd Bradshaw, because you and I, were teenagers once upon a time. We were, and they know about this, so they try to stop it. But one or two, let's say 18-year-olds, will rent a room, and before you know it, on a Saturday night, there's 25 kids in that room. And there's only one thing I think of when this happens to me. There's 25 kids in that room raising hell, and God knows what's going on, and they never thought to invite me. They never thought to invite me. I'd bring in one of my folding chairs and just read the newspaper. I don't want to participate. Oh boy, Todd, more stuff I should not have said. I'm going to get slapped by a few people. I'll tell you what, I could do something with that line too, but I won't. You say hurricane. I'm half American. I thought you said half American Idol, Carmen. I looked at it real fast. I'm half American. I see. Which half? Upper or lower? Is that be TMI? Oh dear. So daddy or mommy was American, huh? Have you been to these United States then? Shelley loves those strange looking blue and other color emojis. They called me Hot Toddy back then. Really? Well, well, well. Not your, they didn't say, I'm right on the edge here. They didn't say you're a fine cup of man meat, Todd Bradshaw. Probably went over the edge. But yes, I love Motel 6. They leave the light on for you, first of all. They leave the light on for you. So that's pretty good that they leave the light on for you. I bet you we're far in already. Not that far from an hour. It just goes so fast, so fast. And I haven't even talked about Rosie O'Donnell yet. President Trump has announced that if the gentleman Is he president? Is he prime minister of Ireland? Whatever the heck he is. He was at the White House today. Seems like a fine chap. After that meeting, the president announced that if he brings Rosie O'Donnell back into America, he's going to employ a 100% tariff on Ireland. Okay, Rosie, I'll say things you won't expect me to say. I used to be a super fan of Rosie O'Donnell in the 80s. I cannot lie about this. I wrote a biography on Rosie O'Donnell. I fell in love with her TV character, say, and it's the 90s. It's not the 80s. Where am I? What decade am I in? In the 90s, the Rosie O'Donnell show. I thought she was the best thing since pizza. Since pizza, I did. Shouldn't it be Pisa? Shouldn't it be Pisa, Todd? I thought she was the best thing since Pisa. I love the show. I watched it every day, and I was working as a peace officer, and I often on my days off would stand on the line down there at Rockefeller Center on the standby line to see Rosie O'Donnell. And since we are both born on March 21st, along with Matthew Broderick, Matthew Broderick and Rosie O'Donnell were born on the exact same March 21st, whatever year that was. I forget what Rosie is. She's younger than me. But they were born on the same day. Also, Eddie Money was born on March 21st. So she was having a show where she wanted the whole audience to be people that were born on March 21st. And they quickly flashed a number to call, and I called right away, and I got to be in the audience for the March 21st show. So I thought she was great. But then as time went on, I realized, well, she's on TV, she's one way, but she's not so much the other way. But back then, she was very careful in her comments. She said, I'm not going to talk about my personal life and be labeled something for the rest of my life. She hadn't come out yet. And by the way, coming out, she should have come out as, okay, the truth is I, Rosie O'Donnell, I'm a bisexual. Oh, okay. Because we know that you really loved Donny Osmond. You really kind of had a strong crush on Tom Cruise, and that you almost married a man. And somehow during a flight, the man that you were going to marry, you got word that he was breaking off the marriage. Oh, men are crap. This happens a lot. Men are crap, you know. It's like with Christy McNichol, who I had such a major crush on. Scott Baio, Leif Garrett, many back in the day. All of a sudden, she's a lesbian. I guess Scott wasn't that good. I don't know. Didn't mean to say that. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to rename this show Things I Never Meant to Say. Lizard Lounge Radio. Bit late? How are you all? Welcome, Lizard Lounge Radio. If I miss a comment that is worthy, Whoopi Goldberg should be the one kicked out of the United States. But hey, Rosie is really going. She's really going. She's in Ireland right now. But here's the trick. She never sold, according to sources, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. She never sold her California home. I think she's sold the New York homes, but she never sold her California home. It's still there, and she has plenty of, her and Kelly, her first wife, had adopted kids, or however you want to say, and Kelly herself gave birth, was artificially inseminated. I don't think Rosie did it, and had one or two children. But before that, she already had Parker, her first adopted child, whatever, was Parker. I actually met him in Nyack, New York at a street fair that Rosie was at. My son will never let me forget that we gave up a Yankee game to see if Rosie O'Donnell was going to show up at the Nyack Street Fair, because she had a house there owned by the late Helen Hayes, right on the main strip with a big gate around it. Anyway, so I really liked her at the time, and I even wrote a biography. And but it as I saw there was more to the story, I wrote about that too. And one of her assistants, who I was trying to interview, got wind of that and was reaming me out, saying she's a great woman, and But I had noticed things at the show. I had noticed things at the show sometimes because I went to like 6 or 7 of them. But anyway, as time went on, she became more militant, and then the Trump versus Rosie thing, of course, and what have you. But back in the day, I mean, Rosie O'Donnell was the epitome of how to be successful in a talk show when you're the new person on the block. She was terrific. John McDaniel, her music leader, was very congenial, and she interacted well with the guest until the time she ambushed Tom Selleck on live TV, and he didn't like that at all. He could have come back with some really great responses. Here she is going off on him about his pro-gun status, and he could have gotten up from that chair and he could have said, if the cameras could follow me, because her bodyguards were right over there, who also stood down in the line and approached me several times saying, haven't you been here before? Oh, yeah, yeah. But I had a shield in my pocket. It got me in. It got me in. I said, well, I can't come too often because I'm on the job, on the job. That's what you say. It said Department of New York Homeless Service Police. It said police. So they let me in. Rosie O was discovered on a talent show. Name escapes me. I was watching the night she won. I participated on her blog for years. Really like her in present tense, says Tess, but things went sideways somehow. Yeah, well, she just when she became militant, she no longer hid the fact that she could be very nasty at times. Um, I just liked her as a talk show host. Now, here's Katina. I see her for the first time saying, good night, everyone, praying for everyone. Keep my dad in prayer. He said his breathing is improving. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't know if he has COPD or anything like that. Does he have sleep apnea? And if so, does he wear a mask? If your breathing is bad, I guess they want you to be on CPAP, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have sleep apnea. It means you could have COPD. So my doctor says, if you won't wear this mask, you could have COPD at some point. He tries to, bring in that approach. They're supposed to be sending me a home study kit. They haven't sent it yet, and I forgot to remind them. You all say a prayer for me tonight. I have to hang a 70-inch TV. Won't I look good on that? Oh boy, I'll break the screen up on the wall by myself after the show, hoping I do not break the break/flex the glass. I have a plan, but to be 20 years old again. But to be 20 years old again. Yes. Then I could make really bad choices. Huh. So what did Katina? She answered me, I think. I just see, thank the Lord. Carmen is praying. And Katina is making sure Chris Dari knows that she is on her prayer list. COPD and black lung, says Katina. Black lung. Was your father, did he work down in a coal mine? Did he do that? You're not in West Virginia, are you? Not that I should ask that question, but it came to mind when you said black lung, like it's the only state, and I know that's not true. Huh. We will pray for him. So we have sure been talking about a plethora of things. 56 watching right now, 28 likes. If you haven't signed in, please do. Thank you all so much. Petty thing to pray for, but this old fox needs a break. No, you need that 16-year-old couple doors down to put down his devices and come and help you. Let's get somebody to Todd's Bradshaw's house before he does that, I think. Remember, you don't want to regret your decision. We wouldn't want that to happen. Joanne Nitzy is here. Hi, Jack and everyone. Hello, Joanne. I forget where you're from. It always takes me a long time to keep it in my brain. Hmm. So, see if I've missed anything here as I go back. So I hear what you're saying, Nancy. You know, some people it's not in the budget because there's a lot involved with it. There's a lot involved with it. Story always wants me to post her medical records. Hold on now. Let me go to my email. I can't promise I'm going to do that tonight, Chris Story, but who knows? Um, oh, you want the picture? It's a picture of you. Okay. Well, I will try this again. Story sent me a number of pictures, including detailed medical records. Oh, first let me show. Oh, no, I'll take the picture first. What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying shame. People like Chris Starry know what real struggles are. Huh. Happy to oblige, as they would say in the Carolinas. That's what Andy Griffith used to say all the time. Happy to oblige. Todd Bradshaw, I see you. I will get to that. Okay. I never know how things are going to appear when I'm in live stream. It does much better for some reason in a pre recorded video. Of course, there are people here that if my life depended on me explaining to them what a pre recorded video is, I'd be dead. I'd be dead, dead, dead. Chris Starry, everybody. Chris Starry. I won't give your real name, but you can if you want, because it's such a beautiful name. It's all up to you. You've said everything else, haven't you? Um, there is Chris Starry. We'll pray for her at the end of the program tonight. And it came out well, so I'm pleased as punch. Can't figure out why some pictures get washed out, especially live, because of the lights, and some ones don't. But then I am a technical dodo, a technical dodo. So isn't that nice? Thank you for sending that, Chris Starry. Let me go to the end of my list here. You're a pretty lady, says Todd Bradshaw. Shelley's talking about somebody being arrested. Oh, we're getting a Chick-fil-A here in the town of Walk Hill, right up the road, this very road that I live on, 3 miles up the road. We're finally getting a Chick-fil-A. They've been talking about White Castle since I was a little boy. Ain't happened yet. Never going to happen, I don't think. But Chick-fil-A, the former Boston Market, will become a Chick-fil-A, which probably means they're tearing down the whole building. I haven't been over there in the last week or so to see what they're doing. They'll probably tear down the whole building, and it's a great location. It's a great location. I knew someone was going to take that one. Now, the Dunkin' Donuts that used to be before the new one opened down the road on Dawson Avenue, that's sitting and it's available. It's kind of small, though, you know. They didn't make the donuts there. They just sold the donuts that were brought to them. So, look, it says cancer. No, you are pretty, Christari. That's not past tense. Um, so there you go. Let me go back to my emails here. Well, of course, Bob would be the first to say he's never healed anyone. Um, these are the kind of things that are in the realm that are above my pay grade, above my pay grade. So I will stay far away from it. Let me go back here. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw, for hitting the Cash App for $30. Todd is number one with a bullet, but of course it's spread out a number of months. He kind of has helped save me in months that were really bad, like February. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's still, I'm under, but it wasn't a train wreck because there is a budget. Like I just bought 3 YouTube shirts Sunday. They're only $12.99 each. You can get them at Walmart. They're called No Boundaries, not boundaries, but boundaries. No Boundaries. You'll see them in the men's section. And boy, I said to Karen, I think we better go up on Sunday to the Wanbo and have our Chinese buffet. Absolutely delicious. And then go over to Walmart because this is the time of year when they're fully stocked with those YouTube shirts. So I bought 3. I could have bought 4. But I got 3, and I have the ones. Now, this what you're seeing right here. This is an authentic Hawaiian shirt that was made in Hawaii, and it was a gift of 3 shirts from Carol down in the wonderful state of Florida. Florida. It's not Florida. It's Florida. Like it's not idea. It's idea. Says Paul Tuttle from Orange County Choppers. It's an idea. No, from Florida. And we're talking I have a nickname for the place, and I won't say the nickname. And now I can't think of the real name, and I probably shouldn't say it anyway. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw. So we must come up with a title for you. Cash App, I get more of it if you use Cash App. If you have Cash App installed or you want to install it on your phone, you go to the App Store, you'll see Cash App, and then you can use it for any number of things, You can send money to your children or what have you. You can pay bills with it if you want. I've never had a problem. I use it to pay one big bill at least, and that is you link your checking account to it. You don't lick your checking account like you would an envelope. I don't think you have to lick the envelope. Well, sometimes I still lick envelopes. I must be buying cheap envelopes. But thank you. And I see that now. Let me see here. Back to the live stream. Are you a ditto head, Tess? Are you a ditto head? There's the word ditto. When I see ditto, I think of the ditto heads. I was a ditto head for Rush Limbaugh. Mikhail says, I do believe Bob has the ability to heal. What do you want me to do with that, Michael G? Not Kenny G. Now, your brother Kenny wouldn't say that. Pastor wouldn't say that. He's just the instrument. And it's a very this whole thing, I used to go to I've been to a Benny Hinn crusade. I talked to people that ministered with Benny Hinn, like Alvin Slaughter, wonderful man, Alvin Slaughter, who was at many crusades, was on TBN a lot. I don't know if he is anymore with Matt and Lori. Not a big fan of Matt. Not a big fan of Matt. I have to be very honest with you. And Alvin Slaughter said that when they did the international crusades, there were far more healings than when they're at Madison Square Garden or something like that. He did tell me that. Ted Richards is here, son of Mary Richards, which means that Ted is not really real. If you look at Ted when the sun is shining or he's standing under a street lamp at night, a strong street lamp, you can see that Ted Richards is translucent. You can literally see right through them. Welcome to Coast AM from the high desert I'm Art Bell. Memories like the corners of my aging mind. Huh. Oh no, it's just the aura. That's a words like aura. I'm like Ray Walston in My Favorite Martian. When nobody's around, my antennas come up. The word aura can lead to other words um, that would be outside of the Christian realm. Things are going fast now. 47 watching that I know of. Christari is giving numbers again. Ted Richards is saying oracle. Oh boy, remember I have a GED. Aura is something that they use in New Age. Do you in any way believe, say, in the Wiccan faith, Ted Richards? I'm not trying to nail you. I'm just trying to find out, what you're saying. Aura is something used usually by people that are into New Age thinking, Um, Paul, the apostle, was quick to say that, that it's not him, but it's Jesus. It's Jesus. It's all Jesus. Why does Jesus heal sometimes and not other times? I have no idea. Someone thinks they know, they don't. Bill Maher isn't completely wrong. He says, I don't know, and you don't know either. Well, what Bill doesn't understand is it's a matter of faith. And to understand and to have a core belief, you must have an experience. And that experience comes when you accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, and you are born of God's Spirit. Only then can the Bible start to make sense. Some of the passages, some of the other passages, we won't understand, and that's okay. We weren't meant to. We weren't meant to. Don't be like Adam and Eve. They wanted to know everything. I don't have to know everything. I just have to know that God has given me amazing grace in my life. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's not going to be, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm not going to stare into the face of God and into the face of who I perceive to be Jesus and call him such. And he says the name is Buddha or the name is Allah. I don't believe that. That's my personal opinion. And just like a good Muslim believes that they are 100% right, that that's the only true faith. Todd Bradshaw, I have a name for hobos. I have a names for hobos book here, Jack. Oh, that sounds fun. No joke. Four Flush Todd appears on this page. I'll have to think about that title. But it does have a ring to it, but nobody would understand it, It wouldn't give you the prominence that I feel you deserve, the loyalty that you have displayed. So how about Grand Poobah? Grand Poobah. Grand Poobah, Todd Bradshaw. It's kind of nice. I just thought of that. All those donuts, four flush. Ted Richards. Oh dear. Yes. I was a total wretch. Are you talking about your did you mean wreck, or did you mean that your life growing up you were a total wretch? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Jack, this isn't going to be one of those dreams, Jody. No, I love your dreams. I'm just kidding. Jack, do you think with all the confirmation, he's not Catholic. With all the confirmation Pastor Bob has been releasing that he is who yeah, I think we've said this before. I got to say it the right way, that he is who we know he is, that the confirmation is of something bigger to come. I think you just made me think that it's a soft open confirmation. You know how stores will have a soft open, like Michelle Obama This is very interesting because I think it was right here on YouTube. She debuted with her new podcast today with her brother. I didn't know much about the brother. I guess I haven't paid attention when Obama, won the presidency. He must have been there. Um, but you know how they show, let's just be dirt honest here. They show pictures of a male and they say that was Michelle before she changed her look, so to speak. Changed her look. I'm not saying that she had surgery. I'm not saying that. There was a famous Ellen taping where they were exercising and Michelle was wearing sweatpants. And there are close up pictures that say, for some reason, Michelle Obama, is this TMI? Was wearing a cup like men do sometimes when they're in gym, or they don't want to be hit by a fastball coming at them from a pitcher. Uh, they don't want to be hit there. You need more than a cup, though, for that fastball that could be coming 100 miles right at your, your Johnson. But men will wear a cup. Burt Ward had to wear a cup when he played Robin because when he put that costume on, I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody. This is me being me. When Burt Ward put the Robin costume on for the first time, the director looked at the executive producer and says, "Oh, we can't get away with this. We can't get away with this." So Burt had to be fitted for a special cup because he was extremely blessed. You know who they say was extremely blessed and it proves life isn't fair? Hervé Villachez. Des Plaines. I'm going places today I never thought I'd go. The pic of her on Helen showed it all, says Ted Richards. Yeah, it seemed to, right? It seemed to show that for some reason she had taken a Nathan's hot dog. I'll stop there, Nancy, before you slap me. Jack, they are saying those refund checks may be coming soon. If so, we can all afford to see Pastor Bob on the same day. You mean from the Doge situation? Um, it's just a comment that certainly is a long way from being turned into law, and they've got a lot more investigating to do, a lot more departments. And, now we have Elon Musk. Oh, he's just doing this to make his friends rich and him richer. He's losing money. And of course, the horrible progressives, the crazies, are out there torching Teslas who they used to love. They wish they could, many of them wish they could have afforded a Tesla, or as President Trump calls it, a Tesla. Tesla. He bought a Tesla just the other day. It's beautiful red. He's not really going to drive it, but his staff can. His staff. Maybe you'll see Caroline, sweet Caroline Levitt, a real sweet Caroline, not someone that would, I don't know, take a knife and stab her uncle in the back. A real sweet Caroline like Caroline Levitt. So proud of Bobby Kennedy, and they should be too. How dare you? How dare you? Bringing up stuff that was decades old and what have you. You know? Hey, he didn't go to Chappaqua. Give the guy a break. He's sitting down with Cheerios and saying, "Hey, how come you don't put Fruit Loops, Kellogg's? How come you don't put red dye in the Fruit Loops you send to China, but you put red dye in the Fruit Loops here in America? What's that all about?" I think it's a pretty legitimate question. We have, like I mentioned, this Bailey Hutchinson, beautiful young girl that just passed away at like 24 years old of colorectal cancer. I think we should be looking at those things. So good job for all their healthy talk under the Biden administration, along with all the other complete farce that they were. They didn't have a Bobby Kennedy, did they? So way to go, Bobby. Way to go, Bobby and Tulsi. Put the few good Democrats in there. That was a smart move. And of course, Tulsi's a Republican now, but not Bobby. but he probably didn't even get to go to Christmas dinner this year. And he said to Cheryl Hines, who TV wife of Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, until they got a divorce. He said, "Well, what did Adam Schiff say? Screw you and the horse you rode in on." I used to hear that expression when I was a kid. Screw you and the horse you rode in on. So that's what Bobby can say. Are you showing tickets tonight too, Jack? Thank you, Chris Story. All right. You see, this is what happens to me. She redirected me. And I beg your pardon. I never promised you a rose garden because that's Karen's job. She can do the rose garden. She's got a green thumb, and she'll soon be spending money that we don't have. I mean, with the utility bills this year on the East Coast. Oh, yeah. So this was for August 23rd, 1977. I worked with a security guard at the Orange County Fair that might have had tickets for this same show or a show near it. August 23rd, 1977. See, this isn't going to be as easy. Okay, there it is. Elvis tickets. Elvis did not attend that concert because he was preparing to leave the country for a few months to go into a facility where he would be made well in mind, body, and spirit. Or he may have died on the 16th. I always say 17th, right? 16th, right? I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. Do I believe Elvis faked his death in August of 77? Is that my personal opinion? Absolutely. And I'll say one thing even more. If Bob Joyce is not Elvis, then Elvis died sometime after 1977. It's him or it's nobody, in my personal opinion. But that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong about the whole thing. You can lead a horse. Is this the kind of horse where I can't talk, I start coughing? I think it is. Ted, you can lead a horse, HORSE, to water, but you can't make him drink. Next, you will say, a stitch in time saves 9. But then again, I don't suppose you did a lot of knitting, did you, Ted Richards? How about crochet? You know who's a great crocheter? Amanda Seyfried. I have an Amanda Seyfried video, but her fans don't know about it. Those were your tickets, Christari? Wow. My electric is 307, says Nancy DeMarco. Yeah, on an average monthly payment plan. A lot of people are experiencing this. It's gone through the roof. And of course, we had very cold weather. What was I going to look up? Oh, it's getting worse. I was going to look up, see if there's any more pictures I wanted to show you that I've forgotten. And we do want to look at the email again. Mm-hmm. There's Karen with the lead guitarist for Trans-Siberian Orchestra a few years back at a Jimmy Sturr event. She likes the Chris Caffrey, and I am not threatened by it. I didn't say, "Oh no, you can't look at another man and say he's attractive." That's silly. That's just silly. It's a lie as to who we really are. It's a lie. And there's one that's one of our thumbnails there. Pastor Bob, construction man. Here you go. Looks a little perturbed, I must say. A little perturbed. So, there are those that say, look, Bob Joyce was a union contractor for many years, union carpenter. I worked with him, one guy said. Doesn't give me a morsel, not even a morsel of proof. Thank you for not giving me any proof. But obviously, Pastor Bob is a carpenter. He is a carpenter because Jesus was one, and if it was good enough for Jesus, so he did have a big hand in putting together the facility that they're in now and the strip mall too. And I don't know about prior to that because nobody really knows about Pastor Bob Joyce prior to 2011 when he magically appeared on YouTube. We say, well, he was Robert Wayne Joyce. You've seen, I love it when they say, there are plenty of early pictures. Yeah, not the same guy in my humble opinion, but I don't know that Brenda Gaskell agrees with that. Hi, Brenda, where are you from? I know you've been here a time or two. I found a book that is called Just Can't Help Believin' by B.J. Thomas. Just can't help believing, and I can't remember the next line because I'm losing it. I found a book that is called Just Can't Help Believing that tells some really interesting things that he says he found out, like Vernon buying a custom coffin months before August 16th. Well, the story that I relay in a video that our number one video, it's just hit 229,000 views, The Verdict. I tell it in other places like the top 50 reasons why Bob Joyce may be Elvis. A lot of roll-in video and a few of those because we break it up and we still haven't finished the countdown. I won't do it until it feels right. I don't know why. But what we related to was this Gail Brewer Giorgio or Phil Aitchison, the Phil Aitchison report on whether Elvis faked his death, that Vernon and the Memphis Mafia went to the Wax Museum in Atlanta, Georgia, and bought Elvis. And Vernon was quoted as saying, "You won't believe what we're going to do with this." Now, that would be a dumb thing to say, right? But, maybe he just couldn't help himself. And maybe his son just can't help himself sometimes. So I would be interested in seeing that book. That sounds interesting. I have not heard of it. Who wrote that book? I can't buy every book, People tell me about their books, and George Carlin was a riot. I would say a pure genius, but I didn't agree with some of his conclusions. But, George said, I tried really hard to believe. I tried really hard. I swear to you, he went to Catholic church. He went to Catholic school, and interestingly enough, died in a Catholic hospital in Santa Monica. Ironic, would you say not? But George Carlin, to be able to memorize his routines that appeared on HBO, or when you saw him somewhere else without cameras, perhaps, you have to be really, his list of things and how he very rarely stumbled or forgot his place. And the things he said were very provocative and insightful. But his ultimate conclusion is that the whole thing was hooey, and he even mocked God on the stage once when he said, if Jesus is real, have me clutch my chest and drop to the floor right now. And that didn't happen. And he said, all I felt was a tingle in my, you can finish the sentence, can't you, Todd Bradshaw? But it's a shame because he was a brilliant, and I don't think God was ready to get rid of George Carlin at that point. Maybe he had he had the desire that George would follow the lead of the Holy Spirit and change his mind. But then again, he would have already known that George wouldn't. More stuff that is way above my pay grade, ladies and gentlemen. It's by Lee Beckett. All right, I'll write that down. But who is Lee Beckett? Why should I believe a word he says, you know? What's his credentials, Brenda? How does he know these things? Don't tell me he was a cousin. I know there's 200 cousins. One says it wasn't Elvis in the coffin. He's dead. The other one has a program here on YouTube, and people say he mentions me from time to time. I just can't find. Can give me the show name, and I'll look for it that way. I can't go through all the shows. I have caught a little bit of him with, I guess it's his wife and his, sister-in-law? I don't know. 2 women and him. Indeed he did. It is by Lee Beckett. So far I'm going with Grand Poobah, Todd, if you don't impress upon me something that's cooler than that. Yeah, right, Tess. He shouldn't be. Todd, you should not be hanging. Tomorrow will come, and there's got to be somebody that could help you do that. It just doesn't seem like a good thing. Besides, even if you don't get hurt by it falling on your feet or something, you could destroy it, and you don't want to do that because I'll look real good on that 70. I mean, if you have to choose between who's a beautiful woman of this time, we know we had our Anne Margarets. I'll go for someone on Fox. I could even say, if I were being honest, on CNN, Erin at 7:00, beautiful woman, just not a beautiful mind, in my humble opinion. There are a bevy of them right here in this town. This city, there are a bevy of them. You don't have to go to California. I wish they all were California girls, because they were making the observation that there's beautiful women everywhere. And of course, you are to not notice it, especially if you're married. Don't entertain it. It's not the first glance that will get you. It's the second, third, etc., etc. You're going to have to hire a giant. Well, he's dead, right? Andre is dead. So is the guy who played Adam on Dark Shadows. Wonderful actor, Mr. Robert Roden. He has passed away. There's nobody on Dark Shadows that's young enough. The youngest would be David Hennessy, who I hope to meet on July 19th. He owns 2 or 3 restaurants in Panama City. The Princess Bride all of a sudden is coming to, I don't know who the actress is. Jack, I believe that Elvis was going to end up firing the Colonel for obvious reasons. That's why he went into secret. That's why he went in secret to go sober up. Who? The Colonel went to sober up? Because Elvis did not drink alcohol, as far as I know. The Colonel, their relationship was very strained when Elvis Presley realized that the Colonel did not have a passport and lied to him all those years. Wonderfully played by Tom Hanks, who I will never watch in a new movie again. Tom Hanks thinks us MAGA people are garbage, apparently, and that we have a problem shaking a black person's hand. That's who we all are, apparently. So screw you and the horse you rode in on, Tom Hanks. Loved all your movies, but you really should have told us in advance what you thought of us so we didn't spend the money, James, I'll sing on here that Elvis Presley is really Donald Trump, and you will be wrong about that. They were both very active, young Donald Trump and Elvis Presley at the same time. But I get emails on there's four brothers, and I don't believe that either. Jack, I believe that Elvis was going to end up firing the colonel. I already said that. I thought it was a new one. Whatever it takes to keep you safe, you made me laugh when nothing and no one else could. And I'm fond of you at Todd Bradshaw. Well, well, well. I did show Todd's pictures once. I've got them somewhere. Um, well, somebody might comment and say that Trump is Donald Trump. Did I just say that? Someone might say that Elvis is Donald Trump, but we know that's just silly. But, there are people who feel that they are cousins and that there's a Scottish heritage there that they share. So there is that. Now, why did you hit me up all in orange, Tess? Just to let me know that you are laughing, Tess. Are you laughing with me or against me? Are you with me or against me? I don't know. Elvis left to get rid of all his toxicity. Very good word, Chris Starry, who doesn't want to say her real name, in his life to put God first for something big. Now stop reminding me of Tom Hanks movies. Actually, I never really cared about the big movie from Tom Hanks, but there were like five others that I said on my deathbed, I want to see this one more time. Or forget that. Forget that. Um, the lovely Carmen Sylvia says, Tom's not very nice at all. Apparently not. And that was, and then to get on Instagram, eventually shut down his feed and not give an intelligent response, but say, well, I guess you all just have to get over it. After all, it is my free speech. Yes. And it's then our free will to say, okay, if that's who you think we are, oh, you just don't get the comedy. There was no comedy. I mean, we wouldn't mind a certain amount of that, but when you went for the hand thing, that was especially offensive. I love Keenan Thompson. I'd give him a hug. I'd say thank you for all the funny stuff you do. He doesn't usually go overly political. The dude has done some very funny skits on Saturday Night Live, which I don't watch anymore. But uh, I have seen him do a number of skits. I've seen a couple of his movies even. I love Keenan Thompson. It would be my pleasure to shake his hand. Okay, so you're wrong, Tom. You're wrong, wrong, wrong. And these future products that you want to do, you basically just gave the middle finger to far more than of half the population in America. It's more than 77 million. We saw the shift show that went when the president gave a wonderful speech. We saw those diabolical people sitting there, wouldn't applaud for anything, including the young lad that was being given Secret Service credentials that survived brain cancer. Every single one of them should not win re-election. They are bad. Patrick Wilburn joins this wild time. Good evening to all, and God bless you. God bless you to you, Patrick. Where are you from again? I've probably asked that every time you come on. I'm sorry. Yes, he had to get rid of the toxicity in his life to put God first for something big. The saving of soul, God's plan. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. But if the pastor received his credentials back in 1981 and didn't have a home group church to 2010, what? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. You have to give me that. Yeah, because I just adored Tom Hanks, and it's like you it's like you go up to a star like him, and I've seen him brush past people and be rude. Now, someone kind of nudged into his wife, and then he used the F word and told him to get back, and the bodyguards were there. Of course, he should have bodyguards. He's Tom Hanks. I get it. But they didn't mean to. But he had a special connection. Just Victor Navorsky in Terminal. I can't tell you how many times I watched that. And it wasn't just that I fell in love with Michael Douglas's wife in Terminal. I'd noticed her before with Antonio Banderas, so I knew who she was. But Victor Navorsky was just something that was so funny. I became a Stanley Tucci movie via that movie, not Home Alone. Stanley Tucci, I became a huge fan of his watching Terminal, and it was just he did such a good job in that. And he did such a good job in Castaway and Catch Me If You Can, and of course Forrest Gump, which it took him a while to do. They had to scrap a lot of tape. He wasn't getting the character, and the director said, "We've got to stop there." And it was the boy, it was the young Forrest Gump that taught him how to speak in as Forrest Gump, because it was an authentic accent that kid was doing. And as he recited his lines, and then when he realized that, he got it. He got it. And the rest is history. So, you love an actor more than you love most. And then one day they look in that lens and they spit in your face. They spit in your face. That's how we felt. Oh, Christari, those films. How many times have I seen Terminal? More times than I actually saw Castaway, and I saw that at least 20 times. At least 20 times. And yes, he played the Colonel Parker so well in the Elvis movie. Wonderful, wonderful in his fat suit. Just great. And to lose all that weight in Castaway, he had to stop filming for a year and to come back and look like he did. So, one of the all-time greats that just told half of his audience to go screw themselves, and I don't understand that for the life of me. I don't. $6 per dozen. Something is $6 per dozen. So everybody's chatting away. 1 dozen for James James. Well, if you're going to get the donuts, you don't get half a dozen. When for a couple dollars more, you can get a dozen. If you're going to spend $7.79, say it's what it used to be, for half a dozen, don't you want to spend $8.99 for a dozen? Or were you not good in math? Well, you say, I'm trying to, watch my figure. No, you're not. First of all. Second of all, put them in the freezer. Put them in the freezer. You can't put those crappy Boston creams. They're number one donut, by the way, because it's not real custard. If it was real custard, nothing wrong with the chocolate icing or the donut itself. So we went to Walmart on Sunday, after I had to get my new YouTube shirt. You'll see the first one on Saturday night. And of course, we had to get a few groceries, and I know that those chocolate ice donuts are sitting back there. And of course, I have the willpower of how Elvis was back in the 70s. And but I'm only going to get 6. I'm not going to get a dozen there because there is a big difference in price between 6 and 12 there. And I don't want to bring 12 home. So I found the 6. I don't want the cream ones. I want the chocolate frosted donuts, but I don't want the sprinkles per se, but that's all they got left. They got 6 chocolate ice donuts with the sprinkles. So I bought the sprinkles, and the sprinkles, they have no flavor at all. It didn't bother me. It was just a little crunchy. So I didn't mind. Now, I never, ever, ever, ever have gotten sprinkles on my ice cream sundae or an ice cream cone. I don't want my ice cream cone dipped in sprinkles. No. Dipped in chocolate, maybe. A vanilla cone dipped in chocolate. Not usually, I just have a vanilla cone. But when I go to Carvel, I got to have the hot fudge sundae. I just missed Wednesday is Sunday. I missed it. I didn't go. And that was a smart decision not to go because I don't need another Sunday. But if you're going to have a hot fudge sundae and you don't live near Carvel, my condolences to you. By the way, another thing you can tell me is when I have something white on my lips. You can't do it in a pre-recorded video. But if you see there's something right here, let me know about it. I won't be offended. Eggs are going down, they say, Ted Richards. Eggs are down, and so is gas. but both could go up because of the China. Well, I don't know about China, but the Canadian thing. They could go up for a while. Things could get a little bumpy when you're trying to change. Not really just 4 years of madness, but the tax and spend Democrats anytime they were in, with the exception of Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton left with a zero deficit. And you have to applaud him for that. He also went after the fraud in welfare. But the people that need to be on it, that's different. And it's the same with healthcare. And it's the same with everything else. There are people deserving. Cristari is saying Nabisco, Ritz crackers, 12-ounce snack packs per box, 59 cents in the paper. I love Ritz crackers. They say they're not good for you, though. But I love, as Andy Griffith said in the 70s, yeah, would have been the 70s, Andy Griffith said, good cracker, good cracker. And of course, their real slogan was nothing, everything, oh, for goodness sakes, everything tastes good on a Ritz. Everything tastes good on a Ritz. Everything. Don't try it, Todd Bradshaw. Don't try it. It's hurting the way the tariffs. Well, I think sometimes tariffs can be an extremely effective tool. You can also say that cutting ridiculous waste that Doge is doing in departments that should have never been formed in the first place, those people are losing their jobs. They're losing their jobs. And you don't want to see people lose their jobs, but we have a $36 trillion debt in this country. Bill Clinton had zero. We have 36 trillion, and that has to be addressed, or the grandchildren, great grandchildren, are going to have no money. The country they'll be bowing to somebody in the Chi family, the latest descendant of Chi, you see. I had some Pringles. Oh, I love me some Pringles sometimes, but what I really want is the baked Lays. And to buy a big bag of big Lays, you're on an expedition. It's like expedition unknown. You got to get one of those miner's hats, and you got to go from one supermarket to the other to find a big bag of baked Lays. And then if you find it, it might say barbecue. I don't want that. I want regular baked Lays in a big bag. But where do you find the baked Lays? At Jersey Mike's in a small bag. Small bag up here at the Stewart's Mart. So I buy two. I buy two. What can I do? I got all choked up and I threw down my gun. I called him my pa and he called me his son. And I went away with a different point of view. The country was born on debt. This country is dead in debt. The country is bankrupt. So we must change that, right? We must change that. And I think we have the man to do just that. He's not doing it for his rich buddies. That's BS. So I did this video called, let's go to my videos, and this is what I face. Didn't I bring my channel up? I thought I did. Let me do it. You want to subscribe to somebody really cool, subscribe to the man who calls himself Clinton Jaws. Clinton Jaws. He went over all the election night results from CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, BBC, NPR, and he obviously edits the clips and he comments as they go along. They start off with such enthusiasm and they're so sure that Kamala Harris will be the 47th president. And then he takes you through the night. So that's great. But he also did a video on the prognostications a few days before the November 5th election from the Lincoln Project. The Lincoln Project, which is fronted by Rick Wilson, who's been on prime time, real time with Bill Maher. He's been on CNN, MSNBC. I don't like this man at all. I don't like him at all. And his organization is supposedly going to protect the Constitution, yet they support the Biden administration that tried to tear it to shreds. And there's so many examples to back that up. But that's another story. So I did a video at 1, 2 this morning after I saw Clinton Jaws do a video on the Lincoln Project and how far off they were in their prognostications. Now their whole channel is about trying to tear about every single thing that Donald Trump does. And more people love Trump every day, so it's not working. So I did a video responding to Clinton Jaws called The Lincoln Project is in a Tizzy. The Lincoln Project is in a tizzy. America is too smart now for you. Now, the Lincoln Project has 1.3 million subscribers. Not too bad. Oh, I was going to talk about Michelle Obama. But um, I after I did the video, a little while after, I did a general search for the Lincoln Project, and I think I got down 45, 50 videos before I saw mine, because it goes by views and it goes by the kind of audience you have. So I knew going in that if I'm going to do a Lincoln Project video, it's not going to get a lot of hits unless I find ways to promote it, which I haven't started doing yet. But if you go on the Lincoln Project videos, they will freak out on you, and their audience too, I suppose, and then that'll lead to problems. Um, you can't, verbatim do that. You have to find backdoor ways to promote that your video exists. So it's got 152 views right now. If I look at analytics, let me see here. Let's see. They want me to take a survey? I take these surveys. Do you agree that that ads are relevant to you on YouTube? Um, I agree with that. So I'll click that. If you ever, I'm saying. Anyway, let me go to analytics, because it's always higher than what you see on the screen. Eventually they catch up, but they're never really accurate in real time. They've given me an interesting message here. They say regular viewers are choosing to watch this video less often than usual, contributing to 60% fewer views. And it's 158 total, so it's really not that far off. 150 total. So that's what happens when you do a video that's outside of your core audience. You hope that people will watch that video. It's 40 minutes long, longer than I planned to do, because I guess I had a lot to say. So I wish you would watch. You would watch this video, which is entitled "The Lincoln Project is in a Tizzy. America is too smart now for you." Is smart now for you. Only about 158 views so far. Elvis Joyce, more cool pictures. We show the face of half Elvis, half Bob Joyce. That is hitting 1,000 views just about right now. It's not setting the night on fire. Elvis sings in 2025, new Bob Joyce macho photos. Now, this is one of two videos up that has the link to Bob Joyce singing The Wonder of You. Someone told me, there's that video. And I have pinned the link in Elvis Sings in 2025, new Bob Joyce macho photos. You can click on the link and it will go to the Larson Olson video on X, and you can see it for yourself. You can see it for yourself. And someone told me, made it sound like you couldn't hear the audio, and you can. So, make sure you check your system before you scare me to death. But it's Mickey Larson Olson on X, but she puts up so much stuff. She was a part of the insurrection, they would say. She was in the Pokey for a while. She dresses up as Captain America. She puts up so many posts to get to February 17th when she posted this. You have to go through like 100 videos, and people just give up. And that's all you get. You have to click the link. You have to click the link in the video, okay? And it's in two separate videos where I talk about this. Mickey Larson Olson on X. Follow her if you want to. And trying to get back to my regular channel list, and here we go. So it's in that video. And I believe it's in Elvis Joyce, More Cool Pictures. I'm not sure if I put it in there, but you'll find it in two of my recent videos. And you can watch Pastor Bob Joyce from February 15th singing The Wonder of You. So 2,500 hits for that video where you can find it. Elvis sings in 2025, new Bob Joyce macho pictures as he's doing the construction at the new building on 9 acres of land outside of Benton, Arkansas. Click on that. Get me some more views. That would help. Always hit the subscribe and hit the like button. Like button, very important. Hit the notification bell. Bob Joyce, not Elvis, is Elvis, talks Elvis. That's got 2,800 plus views. And of course, we have videos that have far more views than that. Some miss, some hit. And there's the live stream. Okay. I'm going to be wrapping it up soon. Please hit the subscribe button here, the like button, the notification bell if you can. Please hit the thanks button there for any amount, whether it be $1 like Jody did earlier, $2, $3, $5. And if you want to make a bigger tip than that, on Cash App, my handle is lowercase letters, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56. Thank you, Grand Poobah. Todd Bradshaw. I'll change it if you really want me to. Is it 12 midnight already? You know why I don't know? My clock has stopped. I must go get me another Duracell. Once I changed to Eastern Daylight Time, about an hour later, my clock went on the fritz. So my clock doesn't agree with Eastern Daylight Savings Time, but I'm just happy with it. I got a burger and a Archie comic book every time, says Tess. Where was that now? American Spirit cigarettes, $12.75 a pack here. Oh, that's something I can't say I never smoked a cigarette, but I knew right away I would not make that a habit. I didn't want to get addicted to that. Don't you physically get your gold that they talk about? You don't physically get gold? Well, what happens when they go to Fort Knox? Because they're going to do it. Are they going to find it? Or is it not going to be there? We'll have to take odds on that, huh? I think they're really going to do that. They're going to go to Fort Knox. The president has the authority to do this. And the last time they checked, talk about time for the gremlins to get in there, was the 70s, the 1970s. Yeah. Rita, I saw a reel today from an old Elvis movie where he was singing to a bunch of little girls. It was adorable. I started smoking when I was 10, first time age 7. Jackie Organ. Jack, it's 3 p.m. on Thursday afternoon here in Australia, where I live. Yes. Tess was 13 when she started smoking. At least I think that's what she's confessing to. We'd be more interested. Well, forget it. Miss Carter, good evening. How are you, Susan? What's going on with you? Thank you so much for being here on this Wednesday, now really early Thursday morning edition of, I've still got to go down and do my dishes, I've got to do the dishes, check on Karen, see how she's doing. Um, Holy cow, says Tess. You're starting to sound like Robin, although he didn't say holy cow. He said other holy this and holy that. I tried one of my dad's smokes, says Ted Richards, when I was 15. And after choking, that was that. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like I took a sip of coffee and I said, this is not for me. Several times I tried again because people, they're like on a campaign to get you to like coffee. Sometimes people do like it later. My son is one of them. He never drank coffee. His mother and I always drank tea. Did his mother even drink hot tea? I don't think so, just cold tea. But I love my hot tea. I love my Tetley British blend. I have a cup or two every day with a little 2% milk, and then I just put in a little splash of half and half. That's the method to my madness. Redmond chewing tobacco. Oh, now you want to get a cancerous hole in your mouth, huh? I got sick and looked like E.T. Washed down the creek most of that day. I could not near a wintergreen. Certs for 10 years. I could not near a wintergreen certs for 10 years. Tea time, Todd. Yes. But I bet you like your cup of joe in the morning, huh? I love the smell of it. I do. I just can't get used to the taste. Karen, what she does is she throws a little coffee. What does she do? Throw in the not she doesn't pour coffee, I don't think. Maybe she has some, I don't know, that she puts in her smoothies. And then she says, you want a sip? I say, no, you ruined it. You put coffee in it. And boy, just like liver comes through once you get past the onions and the mushrooms and the bacon, whatever you do. That coffee comes right through and ruins the smoothie for me. We're talking about a Suzanne Summers smoothie. Gut Renew powder. Very good. Very good. Good products that Suzanne created with others. Of course, she didn't physically create them, but before she passed away, she came up with a very, very great product line. It's not all Thigh Master, Butt Master, So I tuned in special report. John Roberts was hosting for Brett, and I knew I was tired, and I would just put my head back for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right? 5 or 10 minutes. I put my head back. It's like 6:15 in the evening. I woke up well into, let's see, Laura Ingraham. I woke up at about 7:40. During that time, Andy came down. Karen got up to give him his dinner. They were talking in the kitchen. She turned on her Suzanne Summers broadcast without Suzanne Summers. I literally woke up at 7:40 to her widowed husband. Oh, he's a widower. I woke up to Alan Hamill, who sounds like Gene Ladd, who was with us on Saturday night, former WHN news director, very popular country and western station, country western station in New York City. I woke up to Alan Hamill, who sounds like Gene Ladd, so I'm not sure if I'm hearing Gene Ladd talking about going to a nude beach with Suzanne Summers, a gay nude beach, nevertheless. And this was during the time she was doing Three's Company. And she had her little bikini and her top on, and she would loosen the top when she laid on her belly. And he says, oh, you don't have to worry. They don't know you here. Has he ever heard of a long lens? This is Suzanne Summers in her prime. You don't have to worry here. Apparently, Al was wearing his birthday suit. This is what I wake up to. They're so afraid people like Alan Hamill, but he's 88 years old, and that sensor in his head, kind of goes. So one minute they're talking about this month's sensational deal, and then Al is talking about prostitutes or something like that, or being nude on a gay beach. This is what I woke up to at Karen's watching at 7:40 in the evening, feeling fully refreshed. So now if I needed to drive halfway to South Carolina, I could easily do it. So I'm not going to bed early tonight. I messed that up big time. I messed that big, and I'm trying to change because, I want to experience some spring mornings and what have you. I don't want to be getting up at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm my own worst enemy. It always been that way. Yeah. You guys are still chatting, and there's still 43 watching. I do have to end this, though, because, my goodness, we've been on. See, we don't get bothered so much with technical glitches when it's not Saturday night. Saturday night, I got to keep it around an hour and a half, or trouble ensues. The chat freezes. I can't end the show, and other people get a chance to talk once I sign off, though, so that is a plus for them, and that's good. Wintergreen still makes me sick to my stomach. Really? I love wintergreen. Vicks Vapo works on soreness too, says Tess. I guess there's some truth to that. When you had a really bad cold, you use the Vicks Vapor Rub liberally. A woman after my own heart, says the Grand Poobah, Todd Bradshaw. Not to be confused with the Grand Patriarch, Richard Lyon, who's probably fast asleep. Great show, Jack. Hope you all have a good day tomorrow. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw. And thank you for hitting the Cash App Media Guy 56, lowercase letters, Media Guy 56 for $30. Yes. Tess has sent me a link that I'll click on. The Obama brother, the Robinsons. I'll look at that. I got a few to get to. And again, Todd Bradshaw hit the Cash App for $30 for Turn the Lights Back On. That's right, turn the lights back on. I hope he turns the light on again before he leaves this planet. And again, GeorgeMagazine.com. Find out everything about the big event coming to Hot Springs, Arkansas, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Pastor Bob Joyce will bring the Household of Faith service to the Bank OZK Arena in Hot Springs on the Sunday. I think it's 3,900 seats. One person said 6,200. I don't see that in the advertisement, so I don't know about that. But he's going to fill it. He's going to fill it one way or another. People who go to the events on Friday, Saturday, or just the Saturday event will they will get in first before you do. I know there's going to be a couple of buses coming from Memphis, gang, so get there early. That's 10 a.m. Central Time on August 17th. But Friday is the VIP dinner, and there'll be speakers and entertainment. Also, if you're a VIP, you get to go to the after party with a concert from the gentleman from American Idol on Saturday night. And or you can get the regular day pass for Saturday. All the information at GeorgeMagazine.com. GeorgeMagazine.com. Want to pray for Chris Starry. We want to pray total healing for the metastasizing that's still going on in her skull. We pray for healing from the top of her head to the soles of her feet in Jesus' name. As for total healing, we pray for Deborah Lake, who's going through a chemo pill and immune therapy. We pray for healing from her. She's had a reoccurrence, so we pray for total healing. Want to pray for Brenda, who's still dealing with issues, and Katina's daughter and Katina's father, who has black lung disease, etc., etc. We we pray, Lord, for more good days. May he see a beautiful summer and well beyond for Katina's father. We pray that Todd Bradshaw is given the gift of wisdom and does not try to put up a 70-inch TV now by himself, but waits till he can find a strapping lad around the corner, because I'm sure there are people that can help him. And um, so we pray that he waits on that. Pray for all those in the audience with unspoken needs and what have you. Pray for my Karen, who's got stenosis and carpal tunnel and what have you. Pray that you take her pain away. I pray for those that once were in my life. I pray for my son, who drives the big 18-wheeler. I pray for my daughter, my grandchildren. I lift them up to you, Lord, and pray that you will touch them in a very special way, surround them with your angels. And I thank all of you. I thank all of you for being here for Worldwide Ramblings for this Wednesday night. Now, having said Saturday night, it could change to Friday night, gang. And what I'll do is a pre-recorded video, a premiere one for Saturday night at 10 o'clock, because I maybe have invited to a party. You know, our friends Sean and Norma are very dear to us, and they may be having a party, and I would not get back in time, I don't think, but you never know. You never know. So we could do one on Friday. I will do a promo by Friday morning that will alert you to that. So have your notification bell on. If I can find my live stream, there we are. There we are. Well, we could do one on Friday. I'm just not sure yet. Thank you, Jackie Organ. Thank you, Todd, Ted, and everybody else. There's Angela coming in late. How are you? Bless you. Watch the replay. And the Grand Poobah, till you come up with a better name. Great show, Jack. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for watching Worldwide Ramblings Wednesday. Wonderful family that we have here. Talk to you real soon. Bye-bye for now.